Hello and welcome to the Say It Sister podcast. I'm Lucy and
I'm Karen, and we're thrilled to have you here. Our paths crossed years ago on a shared journey of self-discovery, and what we found was an unshakable bond and a mutual desire to help others heal and live their very best lives.
For years we've had open, honest and courageous conversations, discussions that challenged us, lifted us and sometimes even brought us to tears. Now we want to share those conversations with you. We believe that by letting you into our world, you might find the courage to use your voice and say what really needs to be said in your own life.
Whether you're a woman seeking empowerment, a self-improvement enthusiast, or someone who craves thought-provoking dialogue, join us as we promise to bring you real, unfiltered conversations that encourage self-reflection and growth.
So join us as we explore, question and grow together. It's time to say it, sister.
Blimey, what a month it's been. We've travelled far and wide on our goddess journey. It's been insightful, uplifting, enriching, powerful, and supremely practical. We've learned that the key for change is to act on our wisdom. We are human beings called to be and do, to consider and create, more so now than ever. And the key is to be practical, is to feel it in our bodies and to connect to our being and our doing. We are women of power. We are powerful now, and we claim this now. This lives inside us, and we are all goddesses. We are invited to access our true essence, power, and wisdom. We are the one who rescues us. I want to read a little poem before we jump in, Lucy.
Oh, yes, please. Ease me in gently.
You have been telling people that this is the 11th hour. Now you must go back and tell the people that this is the hour. And there are things to be considered. Where are you living? What are you doing? What are your relationships? Are you in right relation? Where is your water? Know thy garden. It is time to speak your truth. Create your community. Be good to each other. And do not look outside yourself for your leader. Then he clasped his hands together, smiled and said, this could be a good time. There is a river flowing now very fast. It is so great and swift that there are those who will be afraid. They will try to hold on to the shore. They will feel they are being torn apart and will suffer greatly. Know the river has its destination. The elders say, we must let go of the shore, push off into the middle of the river, keep your eyes open and your heads above the water. And I say, see who is in there with you and celebrate. At this time in history, we are to take nothing personally, least of all ourselves. For the moment that we do, our spiritual growth and journey comes to a halt. The time of the lone wolf is over. Gather yourselves. Banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. All that we must do must be done in a sacred manner and in celebration. We are the ones we've been waiting for, from the Hopi Elders' prophecy, written June the 8th, 2000. Oh, I just need to breathe that. I've got goosebumps all running up and down. My heart's pounding. There's so many things that stand out for me. What's coming up for you, Lucy?
I really love the call for togetherness and community, but equally knowing that we are all leaders within ourselves. And I do think my whole existence has always been based on the 80s, greed is good, charity starts at home, you only look after yourself, and all of this really selfish kind of lessons in how to be a human. And it just never resonated with me. And I would always go and look for more ancient wisdom or look at how others do it. And so hearing that it is about the inner journey, but it's about us being the I and the we, because there's only so much that we can do alone. And yeah, that destination piece about the river flowing, life does just flow. Sometimes it's easy, sometimes it's hard, and there is a destination. But for me, it's always been about, do you know the destination that you're supposed to be going to? Because if you are just aimlessly flailing, life is going to happen to you. and I want to have some kind of say in how my life is going to go. So lots that came up. So thank you. What about you?
I feel really emotional. Like it takes me into this place of urgency a little bit. That was written 25 years ago. And when I see where we are in the world now, I still feel we're on this river, that's being sort of, we're on the boat, we're on the river, and we're going towards something, and it's really
Getting
intense
fast now, though, isn't it?
and it's fast and flow. And I have been on rapids, and it's kind of crazy. And it goes from being very peaceful to all of a sudden being very wild, and holding on, almost with dear life. And then you get sort of delivered down the river, and it's safe again. And that feeling of, oh, I can breathe again. And, things can change fast, as we know. But yeah, it takes me back into that journey of wanting to feel peace in my own heart as a leader, but knowing that there's a lot of um, unease out there and not ignoring that. So being part of what's going on, but also then keep coming back into my own heart and finding inner peace, which makes me feel like I've got the capability to stand back again and speak up and lead. So it's too. It's like watching what's happening, being inside myself, coming at it from um, a wise place, as we keep talking about, um, and believing. It's that bit when they said, banish the word struggle from your attitude and your vocabulary. That's such a powerful word, because it does feel like we are battling, and yet there's challenge. It's like, I think I've changed the word struggle to challenge. Like overcoming challenges is something that we're doing all the time. I think it's good to say, let's battle, let's get rid of the word struggle.
Yeah, and that's something that's come up for me really a lot recently, and especially by doing this Goddess Month that we've done. Um, just for the listeners, today is the 20th of January when we're recording this, and it is the day that Trump will be inaugurated again. And when we just think of what has happened since the 1st of January, we've obviously seen the horrific fires that hit LA. There's also been flooding, there's been tornadoes, etc. Just this year. We've got a volcano going off or threatening to go off. We've also had a ceasefire. We've got hostages being handed over and prisoners being released. We've had women's marches just this weekend. We've had people's marches all over the country. We've had um, Zuckerberg coming out with his statements. TikTok was pulled and then it came back, but it's slightly different. That's 20 days. There is so much happening. And yes, the conversations and the thoughts that I've been having is about challenge. There's no point fighting because all they're going to do is fight back more. We have to try a different tactic, a different approach. And actually, with the people's marches and the women's marches, what I've seen is actually people standing in solidarity with peace and love in their heart. No violence, no hating. It's about, yeah, really coming together as a community. And so that's what comes up for me also with that poem. Something is shifting, something is changing, but there are rapids all around us.
100%. And it's this idea of complacency. And I saw something that somebody posted about, complacency. And I was like, the time for complacency is over. It really is. And I know I've been complacent in my life, growing up as a woman and doing all right and getting on in life and, having a nice career and nice things. You kind of go, oh, it's working for me, everything's is sort of coming together. And you sort of lose sight of what is going on in the bigger picture. And now that I'm here, in midlife, that's all changed and shifted because I realize how interconnected we all are and the responsibility that I hold inside myself to have a positive impact in the world is becoming more and more important because I'm getting older and I have a daughter and I'm like, no, absolutely not. This is about how we're all doing together, like you were saying earlier, and really, really, I'm really committed to that and wanting to make the world all the better um, for being here, really, in my own little, whatever that looks like. I'm committed into that. Complacency is
So,
definitely over.
with that big view, let's take it down into like really deep and personal. So, yeah, what have you been discovering through this reconnection to the goddess month that we've done? Because obviously you and I work with the goddess energy and the teachings anyway, but we've really focused on it. So, what have you discovered or rediscovered?
Is there something about the slowing down and the becoming conscious that creates a level of clarity for me? And when I'm clear, I can make good choices. And those choices are the things that create the change. So it has to start from a place of openness inside myself, which I can only cultivate in those quieter moments. So I'm journaling more every day. I'm journaling, and I'm switching things off and just making commitments to myself. I'm
Can I
really
just tell the listeners here, she is so disconnected that how many people have been trying to get in touch with you and your phone is not on? So that was a bit of a revelation for us.
yeah, at first I do. Technology took over actually, and this little moon keeps showing up on my phone, which means that things are not connecting to me. If it thinks I've got a meeting, so Friday and Monday were quite quiet days because everyone was trying to get hold of me, but they couldn't. um,
Oh, so something's going on there,
Something's going
this
on.
need. Yeah.
What about you? What is the change in you?
Um, so first and foremost, normally I come back in January with this whole, not resolutions, but a new state of mind because I've been hibernating during December, eating rubbish and really connecting with family and all that kind of stuff. But I tiptoed into January. And I felt like I wasn't ready to go rushing out and smashing it in the world. It was this need to still be a bit still and to hibernate a little bit more. So that was something that I've really noticed, this different energy, and almost working to a different, almost like a seasonal calendar rather than our Gregorian calendar. So that I was playing with, and I'm going to do it again. It's really helped me. And now as I start seeing I saw some snowdrops appearing. My daffodils are starting to emerge. So now I'm feeling like, yeah, I'm ready to emerge now. So that's been really lovely to connect and get more in cycle. But I've also noticed in that I've got so much more clarity and so much more wisdom. And I've really started to tune in and notice my emotions a lot more and using all of the senses. And as a result of it, I have to say, I've got a bit of a fuck it mentality. As in, like, well, what am I going to lose? What have I got to lose? About being a bit braver, a bit bolder, a bit more creative. So that this empowered stance that I'm coming from just by reconnecting with that part of myself, it's phenomenal. And like you, there's like this sense of urgency now. There's like the galvanizing is like this is taking control, but I don't feel out of control with it. And this urgency, it feels very pointed and powerful because it's coming from a place where I've really spent time going through it. So yeah, loads more energy, loads more creativity, loads more connection. And what's really fascinating is in a world where people feel so disconnected, what I found is by going into myself more, and almost disconnecting, as I'm re-emerging and I'm coming out differently, I feel even more connected. Even my algorithm seems to be sending me like-minded people, and I'm seeing everywhere just good people who believe in what I believe in. So I've
Yeah.
discovered loads.
Amazing. And it's funny because you're talking, and even your language, some of the language, like smashing it. It's like that idea that we come out and we smash it.
Oh, yeah,
It's such a masculine thing, and yet we
yeah,
do, we do want to smash some things. We do want to smash like some glass ceilings that still exist.
yeah.
So I'm like yin and yang with these things sometimes, but it's like, for example, for me, I hate the word nail it again because it always makes me cringe because I'm always like,
Yeah.
it's the imagery of that, and
It
yet
sounds violent,
doesn't
doesn't
it?
it? Yeah.
Yet there's an intention, behind that is actually here to do something different, to create a change. Um, that's why I'm always really, really careful about the words that I use, because I'm always like, I want to make sure that the imagery that comes through with it is, forward going and has an energy to it, because we do want to break gaps. We do want to make change in the world, the way things are operating are not right on so many different levels. So we want that shift and change, but yeah, there's a way of communicating it, isn't it? Really, without yeah, I just wanted to. I was naming it because I was like, "Oh, smash it!" And then it took me to nail it, and I was like, "It's masculine language." Yet,
Yeah.
yeah, we do have an intensity to the work that we're doing. So, I suppose it's about finding new ways to sort of communicate things that feel feminine yet have got huge intensity
Mm.
intention
And
behind.
so the words like nurture and grow and cultivate always feel a lot more aligned to that feminine side. And of course, sometimes you have to go into your garden and hack down some of the brambles and give it a good mow and chop things around. But that's all part of the cultivation. The cultivation and the nurturing is the first and primary. And I think for so long we've done it the other way around. And it's so unhealthy. So it's definitely about living in this, knowing when to push forward, and when to crank things up, but let's not nail anything anymore.
No, and it's I think where we're at is that we're taking a certain amount of time about things so that we can come out stronger and have more of a it's like winning the race, but doing it from a slow and steady place as opposed to I'm going to go out there and I'm going to smash it
Yeah.
today. And that old is very, very Trump. You know what I mean? And we are standing for something different. And so that's the bit that I'm trying to sort of get to as we're talking. And I feel like we're doing that. It's slow, steady, wins the race with a lot of intention and purpose. I would also wanted to say that my emotions are also changing. And I felt there's a lot of healing that's been happening, and it was happening last year. I'm always healing on something, to be honest. But, this year I've kind of come out and I've gone, wow, I can feel the level of healing that's happened inside me. And I'm ready to forgive. And it feels really
Mm.
potent to me. And just this morning, I was doing some work in my Akashic records and I was doing some cord cutting, to release some of the energies that I've been feeling towards somebody else, and just releasing that out of my system and then also releasing them from that pattern. They'll never know that I did that. But because it just feels important. We talked a little bit about releasing shame, didn't we? And we've been talking about wisdom, and we've been talking about crossroads. And I feel like all of this creates almost like the new pathways, and to move on to those pathways is that need to just absolutely cut away things that don't serve anymore, so that we can be in our purest self. And for me, like, my mission is to really perfect my ability to love, and I can't do that if I'm angry or holding things against people. So this has been the new thing that's been coming through. So this is something that I'm also working with, and more to be revealed on that as we go through this process. What's the biggest breakthrough that you've had?
Um, I'm pausing because I'm trying to find the words. Part of the journey that we all go on when we do this work is to know that it is going to be really challenging, and you are going to throw up a whole load of your shadows. And I think that has been the biggest gift for me, about not being afraid to go to those shadows. And it's things like, so I'll tell another story about my going out on Saturday night, but I actually went out into the world, into the city where there are bars, which is a huge thing for me anyway. And when people, so there are a lot of women who are a lot younger than me, and they're in different stages of their life. And I just noticed that once they've had a few drinks, they would come to me and they would start bitching or gossiping. And that was the first thing that really challenged me. And then the other one was how somebody would come up with a problem or something. Like, one of them actually said, "I'm pregnant." And it was all like love and amazingness. But then immediately, a couple of the women just went into advice mode.
Oh,
And the irony was, she was saying something like, the best advice I can give you is don't listen to everybody's advice because, and she riddled off all these things. And my body, everything was like, oh, it felt so constricted because I used to be that person. and I could see the shadows of my former self. And so what I learned was that actually I've broken that cycle, or at least me on a bad day is that person who just wants to go and give the advice or gossip or whatever. So that was like the biggest progress for me to go there and look at my shadows, or the shadows that can emerge when I'm not doing this work, and just being with them, to know that I can be that gossip, I can be that person, and also what it looks like when you say no and you're not going to join it in. Because nobody was offended when I just checked myself out, but equally the gossip and the bitching stopped. And so there was that empowered leader saying, I'm not doing this. And then everybody else stopped. So that's probably one of the biggest lessons for me. Don't be afraid of your shadows, because that there's so much richness there. And a bit like your forgiveness piece, what I would do before is if I didn't like somebody, or didn't want to have to deal with that thing, I would just shut it out, almost like banish them. But it's still all there. So yeah, go to your shadows.
Wow. I had something similar today actually where, it was a WhatsApp thing, but it's a school thing, and some of the mums saying, oh, when we all getting together and that type of thing. And I was like, I'm not doing that. I have no intention of doing it. I have a group of friends at school. We all get on great. The kids get on great. And it's a nice community of women. And in terms of opening up, the last night that we had was deeply uncomfortable. There was lots of elephants in the room. And I just thought, it's great that everybody meets up, but I don't need to go and do that and be part of
Mm,
that. That let everybody else do that if that's what they want to do. But part of me was like, well, maybe I should go and things might be different. But I felt quite strongly myself that I just didn't want to go. So I said, it's not really for me. And again, I just, there was a bit of a debate in my mind for maybe for a minute. I just closed that down. I just thought, I don't need to give energy to that, because I know that that's not how I want to spend my time.
mm.
Time is so precious, and I'm really, really directing it this year, and really, really being very much like, what's the feeling inside my body? Is it a good feeling, or is it, or do I feel uncomfortable? Ultimately, do I feel uncomfortable? If I feel uncomfortable and I don't want to change it, because sometimes I might want to go, yeah, this is a good feeling of uncomfortableness because it's a growth thing. But in this situation, it really isn't. So it was really simple, really easy.
Mm.
And to be able to then just say it simply and easily, and that's that, isn't it? It's like it takes the drama out of situations, but it also puts us back into the flow of energy that we need in our bodies for our day, as opposed to that energy then going out towards something that is directionless. It's not going to bring anything good into my life. I'm pretty sure of that. What I need is to put my energy and flow into the bits that I want so that I can radiate that back out. So it's so simple. I think when you know the truth, it gets easier, doesn't it?
Yeah, and for the listeners, I've created a bit of a checklist to know when you are for or disowning or dishonoring your feminine, and when you're actually allowing it and empowering it within you. Because it came to me through rereading some blogs and some of my favorite books that I've revisited this month, because I wanted to get back into that goddess focus. And it's a checklist of saying, when are you in that energy and when are you not? And one of the really key bits there is when you are saying yes to things to fit in with the girls, or to seek approval, or to be liked, you're dishonoring the goddess within you. But when you are making choices about what you want and what you need, you really do step into a place of power. And so I will put that on, so that you can go and have a look at those. So it's Say It's Sister on Facebook. But one of the things that also came up for me when I was creating this checklist was about honoring our own unique, amazing feeling of what beauty is, and our essence. And this was another story that came up from the weekend. And women, everybody listening will know what this is like. Um, I tried on 4 different outfits before I went out on Saturday night. And again, I said, these people were like, some of them were in their 20s, some were in their 30s. I think I was the oldest woman there. And so I was bringing out all of these like really glitz and glam outfits, and every one I put on, I felt awful. I felt like a fraud. And then again, this fuck it mentality came out, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to wear this. And I wore a little black short jumpsuit with black tights, my fabulous new black boots, and then my long, it's like a cotton long flowy cape thing that goes with it. And honestly, I looked there, I thought, oh my God, I really do look like a witch now. But I walked out and I felt amazing. And I
Yeah.
didn't dress like any of the others. And I was absolutely dressing for me. Now, later on, what I found really interesting was we were all talking. Well, I got about 3 or 4 compliments. People say, wow, you look amazing, Lucy. But then I realized it wasn't the clothes I was wearing, it was the energy that I was bringing that made them feel that. But then we were doing like this, says, so how old are you on your birthday? Da da da. And when I told everybody I was 47, um, they're like, no way. You honestly, we thought you were still in your 30s. Now I'll take that. I had got makeup on, it was soft lighting, whatever. But it really made me realize that actually when you step into your own wants, your own needs, and you focus on yourself, you do vibrate a really different energy. And it's that people see. So when I then went on to do a video, I did one on TikTok without any filters on. And I was looking at it, I noticed my wrinkles. And then I just thought, but nobody's going to look at that. Everybody is going to hear the words, match my energy. And so that I think is just this technique, this key process is just go and check through where are you putting your energy? Whose opinions are you really focusing on? Are they yours or are they somebody else's? So I will put that in the Facebook group. But what about some of your key processes that have come forth or you've revisited maybe? We've said
Yeah.
journaling, and I absolutely am with that. But what else?
Well, it's also fascinating what you were saying because it just reminds me. So I have a friend who is like a top celebrity stylist and hairdresser, like best in the world, worked with all the, big names. And when I'm doing anything, I'll ring him up and say, right, I've got this and this. And he was like, right, what have you got in your wardrobe? Because we never go out and buy anything new. So it's all got to come from what's in the wardrobe. And so I'll pull a few things out and then he'll say to me, okay, now go away, try them on, do not look in the mirror, and whatever feels right on you is what you should do your thing in. So that's how we do it.
Love that.
It's not about, and I'm a
It's a
big fan.
feeling again, isn't
It's
it?
the feeling of it. And I'm a big fan of mirrors and looking into the mirror and looking into your eyes and seeing you you know, outside of the look. I'm a big fan of that. But in this situation, it's very, very powerful because we know what we feel right in. We know what feels good on us or in we're in it and we feel it, and it's not something that a mirror is going to tell us one way or another. And I think that's sometimes where we do go wrong, where we're looking for a certain aesthetic in the mirror, and if we don't get it then we berate ourselves. So I feel like what you're saying is is really important for all of us to remember. It's like it isn't about what it's like, it's about how it's feeling. And
And another thing, just to add on to that, which is the irony, is 20 years ago, after I had my first child, for Christmas, I got given one of those get your colours done.
yeah,
And I was told that I should not wear black anywhere near my face. So literally, I have been living somebody else's advice about what clothes I should be wearing. I never wear black on around my face. Well, I was wearing full black on Saturday, and everyone said how fabulous I was. So that's another one that I'm like, I'm going to listen to anybody else.
there is a book called Fuck It. Have you seen the book? You need to go get it.
Yeah,
It's
I
have you
think
got
that's
it?
my energy right now.
It's a good book to read. Yeah, I think I've gone back to some of the basics, the writing, the reading. I couldn't read for ages. Like I literally, like my
Mm.
brain was overloaded. The PTSD thing meant that I could not, pick up and actually, because there was nothing was going able to, I couldn't actually take anything in. And actually that served me actually for a while to be able to be like, actually the work is inside me. It's not about putting new things in, it's about dealing with what's going on the inside. So for quite a few years I was in that place, and then I noticed that things started to shift last year where I was able to pick books up again, and I'm an avid reader. So in that time when I couldn't read, I was listening to audiobooks, so still digesting bits of things. Now I'm like the book, my book love has returned, and I'm reading 3 books at the same time at the moment, and I'm sort of dipping in between the 3 of them, and I'm enjoying the ride because they're very different types of books. And it's really easy to go from something quite heavy into something quite light and still continue to read. So that's what I've been find myself doing. I
Can
read.
I ask you a very personal
Mm,
question?
yes.
Have you got to the stage that you have to have a reading light? Because that was the thing that stopped me reading. And then I'm like, oh, this is genius. But that's a midlife thing.
Glasses, good glasses for the thing for me. I mean, I can't read anything now unless I've got glasses on. And did I tell you the story when I signed my name off as Ken the other day? Just for the purpose of the listeners, I was writing a business message to somebody and I didn't have my glasses on, and luckily I caught myself before I sent it because I'd signed my name off as Ken. And I was like, I cannot be doing this anymore. I just need to get my glasses. It was like that moment in time when you go, yeah, I'm fully here now, and my eyes are letting me know, and I mean, whilst it would have been quite funny, I didn't really know the person very well, so I just thought, let's not go down that road. So yeah, glasses are needed. The thing that I absolutely loved was the key process that we talked about during our
Mm.
last episode. And that for me was absolutely magical because, you know, I did that process and I went to the local park and I found a bridge and I took a friend with me as well. And we both did it together and we did it one at a time. And I guided her into what what to say. And so I did it first and then she followed. So I got to do my own journey of, leaving behind what I didn't want to take with me and then walking over the bridge. And on the other side of the bridge, I put my key on the side and the sun was like coming through at that point, so it was kind of like shining on the bridge and on the quay, and there was ivy across it, and it was quite a wintry day. It was magical. And then I got to witness her do the same thing and she cried, and it was super emotional. And um I just was like, what an absolute gift, and then every day I'm writing about what the key is unlocking for me, what it is that I'm going
Beautiful.
for. So it's like I think this will be something that will just stay with me throughout this year and maybe beyond. I don't know. Um, so there's just something magical about having a concept and then thinking, how can I put that into a ritual and make that into something? And we don't need to know the exact words we need to say. You just get into like, what am I letting go of? What am I claiming? Because as soon as we let go of something, and even if that's just vocally, we say, I leave this behind now, something shifts itself in our body and in our nervous system. And I know from all the healing work that I do, as soon as we go, it's almost like you say, this is what's happening, this is so now, you'll feel space in your body because your body will release something out. And you should not do anything until you feel it. You should just stay with it because it will totally release it. And you just put your positive energy into your body and, keep releasing whatever it is that you want to let go of that's inside your body. When you feel that spaciousness, it could take a minute and a half. It won't take much longer than that. Sometimes it's literally like that. And as soon as you do that, the new is coming in because it's starting to happen on the inside as your body starts to repattern itself and get, there's more space here, something's left. We are brilliant because if we let something go, something new is going to come. And so that's already happening. And I always say to people, have you got any idea what it is that you want to call in or that you want more of? And most people do, but sometimes people say, no, I just want to be here. But there's already a magic happening. So I love that.
I haven't shared with you yet, but over the last year, I started realizing that I hadn't got many people in my life that thought or who believed in this kind of stuff. And obviously, you and I then started working together, and then I've started getting more people in my life where I can just have these conversations with, and they're like, yeah, of course, there's spirituality and there's a universe, etc. Anyway, I made it my commitment um, to find more women. I wanted more women in my life. And my best friend for Christmas bought me a seat or a yoga mat at a women's circle. And I went not last Friday, the Friday before. and it was beautiful. And what was even more beautiful was my second cousin was there and I was like, well, this is really strange because I didn't know you were into this stuff. Anyway, went through this whole process, and then at the end, the woman said, if you'd like to book again, come along. And I looked at my friend and I was like, yes, I loved this. I want more people like this in my life. And we got in the car and she said, no, that wasn't for me. I won't be doing that again. And I normally would have said, oh, yeah, yeah. And I said, I loved it. I want more women like this in my life. So I booked up for the rest of the year. Um, and so again, it's like when you make a decision and it feels fully aligned to you, it just comes to you, it finds you. Who knows what it's going to happen? But I knew with certainty I didn't have enough females in my life that were like me. And
Mm.
now I'm going to go find them. So that's going to be exciting this year.
Sure is, and they're finding you,
Yes.
which is the best bit about it, I think. You know what I
Yes.
mean? It's like we have the intention, we start to do our own inner work, and then people start showing up, and it's like, oh,
Mm.
hi. So like, I didn't, I've been waiting for you, but you know, and here you are, and how nice is that? It's like the synchronicities, but we're doing something, we're cultivating that on the inside, and then the universe will co-create with us, and then something starts to happen, and when we start to see it on the outside, we know we're doing something right on the inside.
So I believe you've got a tool or a visualization that you can lead us with to really honour this last episode. So what I'm actually going to do, it would be a good time to sign off now so that we can just get into that
Yes.
energy of the visualization. Okay. So we are going to just take 5 more minutes. So don't go off right now, but we do want to just say that we have loved doing this goddess series, these 4 weeks, and we may do other series in the future, but every single episode that we bring to you is grounded in this energy, with this philosophy, with this belief. So wherever you pick us up, whether it's the beginning of the series, the end of the series, just know that this is the work that we do. So blessings to you all. And I'm going to be quiet now and hand over to my dear friend Karen.
Yay. Okay, well, it's time to go inwards. I'm going to take my glasses off because now I don't want to see. All right, so let's close our eyes. We're not going to be here for too long. We'll do a few minutes. We're going to take some deep breaths. Feel your feet on the ground, grounded to the earth. Listen to the sound of your breath. You can follow my voice as I talk. And just notice your own body. This is your home. Listen to any noises and come in deeply. And if you put your attention and your energy into your heart space, into the center of your chest, and just take some nice deep breaths. And letting everything relax. Softening your hands, your shoulders, your jaw. And coming back to the heart. Now I want you to imagine that you are inside your own heart. And your heart is a temple. It's a healing temple, a place for you to return to when you need to rest, when you need to forgive, when you need to let go. And just imagine that this area runs all the way across your chest, from right to left. And go and take a look around your temple. There's a light by your feet, and you can pick it up and shine it all around this beautiful temple inside you. So go and explore for a few moments. And as you walk around your temple, you notice that there is a beautiful goddess sitting waiting for you. And you walk towards her, and you look at her, you take in her details. She may look like you, she may look different to you. Just receive her, however she appears. She is part of you, and she knows you well. Breathe her in, breathe her energy in, and feel the love that is here for you now. Allow her to speak to you. What does she want you to know about you and who you are? This is your inner goddess. You can be with her anytime you choose, and she will help you on your journey. Allow her to merge into you now. She walks towards you, and her energy and your energy fuse as one. Just know that whatever you need is now available to you. A few more moments here just to connect and feel embodied. So come back into your full body, moving up from the heart space, coming back into your breath. Coming back into your rightful size and shape. Wiggling your fingers and your toes. Coming back into the room. Stretching your arms. Giving your body a bit of a wiggle. When you're ready, you can open your eyes. Thank you, thank you, thank you.